Today, I'm going to specifically talk about 3 major things every new or next author has to know about self-publishing, and is it actually worth it for you? Okay, now number 1, is self-publishing actually worth it? Now, there are only 2 cases where self-publishing can be worth it for you, and probably it's very worth it for you. Number 1 is if you know and understand the whole self-publishing process, what it takes to successfully write and publish and advertise your book. Number 2 is if you are partnering up with a team that understands that whole process and knows how to take you from the idea to a best-selling author and move you through this whole cycle effortlessly. Now, the second thing I want to talk about 3 major advantages of self-publishing that you as an author have to know about. Now, number 1 is control. Control of every single asset that you have that's related to your book, like the cover, the manuscript, description, and everything in between. Now, if you're going the self-publishing way, you can actually change the majority of these things after the book is published, and even during the process you are making many more decisions opposed to, let's say, traditional publishing. Now, the second major advantage is ownership, owning everything that you have. Now, traditionally, when you go with a publisher, you either sign a lifetime or something like a 7-year agreement, which is very common, where you have a particular structure that they own something and you own something, and there is a percentage split. Now, these kind of agreements are very challenging for most authors, because then you always have to go back to it and see, okay, here's what kind of decisions you can make, what you can do, what you cannot do. So this is extremely important to understand. Now, if you control everything, if you own your own products, that's a very important thing to understand when you're considering to go one or the other way. Now, the third major advantage is actually, of course, income, right? When you are self-publishing your book, everything is coming to you. All the royalties, all the partnerships, all the clients that come from a book, they all come to you. And that's extremely important to understand. So there is no split with somebody else, and you are owning everything, or own all the money, all the income, and you are going to own everything for years and even decades to come. Okay, now the third thing I want to talk about today is what kind of authors should absolutely avoid self-publishing. Now, I'm going to mention a few things here, but I think you must really understand this. Time constraint is a big one, right? If you don't understand anything about self-publishing and you are not willing to invest in the team or the knowledge to understand the self-publishing process, it's going to be draining. It's going to be the success is very unlikely. Right? If you don't have a plan on how you're gonna spread that message, how you're gonna get your book out there, how you're gonna market that, how do you position the book even before you start writing, if you don't understand these things, chances of your book being successful as a self-published book is 0 to none, right? So in this situation, you should absolutely avoid a self-publishing way. And another important thing to also understand is if you don't have the time and you are very busy, understand this kind of process, and you don't want to hire anybody, you should also avoid self-publishing. Okay, now to conclude this video and answer a question, is self-publishing worth it for you, or is it just for authors who want to save money? We believe, and in our company, and I personally believe, that self-publishing is the best way to publish your book if you either understand the process and you actually master the process, or you're partnering up with somebody who understands the process and you work with them, so you own and you all get all those benefits, right? You own your content, you own your book, you own your income, and you have full control, which you don't see on a traditional publishing side. Now, so in essence, if you are either willing to spend the time to learn, or you're willing to partnering up with a team who mastered this game of self-publishing is definitely worth it for you, and is not for authors who just want to save money.